Man, what's going on? Your boy Chili, getting to kind of hang around in California, having been to the Under Armour Next event that took place in SoCal. And I will be at the Under Armour Next event that is going to be going down over there in Salt Lake City. I got an amazing guest lined up, who's probably going to be out there in Salt Lake City with your boy. Going to watch him cook a little bit. But you know, some things that I do want to talk about. Oh, shout out to my guy, Devin Horn, amazing camera dude. Mostly for basketball, but really trying to get into the football scene and do his thing. He was rocking with Tucson Turf and hitting a bunch of sevens. Hopefully I can get him out the flight club. We will see. But yeah, one thing that I did want, I want to show, look, Arizona dude, no matter how you want to slice this thing up, because he played some ball here. In case you don't know, your boy is a huge wrestling fan. I thought it was super cool. WWE was in Omaha, was in Nebraska last night, and I got to see Dylan Raiola's face on the big screen. He was there, and like I saw on Instagram, he was posting pictures with like Logan Paul and like Jey Uso and stuff like that. So shout out to the kid, Dylan Raiola. Nebraska quarterback, QB1 over there, and he got a little brother doing his thing out in Georgia still, Dayton. Both of them played at Chandler for a year, and out there in Georgia finishing up their careers at Buford. So shout out to both of them. Also, I guess shout out to Dylan, you know, got that big Adidas deal. But yeah, he was with like Matt Rule, a couple of his teammates and stuff like that. And I just always think that stuff is cool. And my guess, he's probably going to get some of those cool opportunities wherever he lands. I'm going to bring him on in a second here. The Suns, real quick, let me get some of the pro stuff out of the way. The Suns, I don't know if the Suns know what they're doing. I'm not sure. Look, I'm a fan of Ishbia. I am actually a big fan of Ishbia. And I do want him to be successful with the Suns, but I just don't know if him hiring all his people and then demoting James Jones is the move. But shout out to my guy, Adam Beadle, me, him, a couple other people. I want to say it was like Brad Denny, Jordan Ham. We're all at ASU practice. And the one thing that Beadle made sure to stress was he felt like the biggest problem with the Suns was James Jones. And sure enough, here made the call. But I'm not sure if this Brian Gregory dude or whoever is the guy that Beadle would have chose to replace. So there's that. Not sure what's going to happen with all the other moves that they're talking about making, because it seems like the Houston Rockets really not feeling the whole Kevin Durant idea. I don't know if I would either. I don't know if breaking up your young core is the way to go. But yeah, anyways, getting back to some of the football stuff, there are showcases going on. I know right now West Valley's finishing up their showcase. A lot of talented teams out there. Yesterday, I got to stop by the Phoenix Union. Really got a good look at Cesar Chavez, Central, Camelback, and North. My guy Eli Manzanares, he looks like he's got some weapons over there this year. It looks like they might be super impressive. They had a young two-way guy that could really go. This kid, number 11, Jerome, last name starts with a B. I can't remember what his last name was. Look good. And then they had a kid that looked like he just stepped out of surgery, but a long athlete. So super excited to see what they got going on. The Carters are officially back, trying to transform things over there in Maryville, getting practices underway. That's going to be super exciting to watch and monitor. But like I said, I do got a super special guest that I can't wait to have on the show, get to chop it up with him, because I know he hyped and getting ready for a big game one, because, by the way, slid in the DM, said, hey, Chili, stop the nonsense. You got to break down our schedule. So I promise, me and Gridiron, right after the interview, going to break down their schedule. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on QB1 over there at Cactus Shadows, the one, the only, Donivan Dixon, who I am going to be seeing in Salt Lake City this weekend, because I believe he is doing the Under Armour event. Anyways, 5 seconds, Donivan Dixon, y'all know the deal. Sheesh, Donivan, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Man, I'm just trying to survive, man. Just trying to make sure that everything works, you know. I had a super slow Uber get me
Yeah.
back to the crib, but I don't know if you've ever dealt with that. I don't know. I don't know if you're dealing with like Ubers on the regular or not, but I had a super slow
Nah.
one. So yeah, so there's that. Man, hey, there's so many things that I want to talk to you about. One of them being you have this super unique situation where your pops is the head coach.
Right.
You know, I've always been fascinated. Like, how does my guy Donovan compartmentalize that? Like, how are
Mhm.
you able to differentiate pops on the sideline,
Mhm.
coach on the sideline?
Right.
That's Coach Dixon at times, and that's dad. Like, how do you differentiate those moments?
Well, when we're on the field, he doesn't really let me call him dad, so he kind of gets mad at me whenever I do. And then when we're at home, I don't call him coach. So we have a
Okay.
pretty fine line between dad and coach. But yeah, we don't really talk about football at home. Like when I was younger, we didn't talk about football at home. But now that I'm older and mature enough, I can take criticism at home and on the field. So
Hey, you've complete both of you guys together. You guys have completely transformed this Cactus Shadows team, which was somewhat dormant for a long time, right?
yeah,
You know, shoot, I mean, 4 years seems like a long time in high school football
right.
because that's literally an entire class for a kid. Like that's like their whole like generation. But you guys have transformed that program. You've made this somewhat of a quote unquote destination school. You made this place hot. You get kids like Riker Crank, who came from Horizon, Trey Peck from Millennium. You know, what's that been like for you to see all these kids want to come play with you?
It's been a great thing. Being in Cave Creek, you don't get a lot of people like Surprise or North Phoenix, South Phoenix. We don't get a lot of kids like that. But having kids want to come play with me and want to come build something with me is special because we just don't normally get kids like that.
Never, man. I've never heard it. I've never heard kids say, "I'm gonna go to." Dude, I've been doing this for
Right.
like 10 years. I've been doing this for like 10 years.
Yeah.
The Cactus Shadows area, and people don't know. People don't
Yeah.
really pay attention. The Cactus Shadows area loses way more talent
Yeah.
than they ever get, even current, right? Like
Yeah.
I believe Taylor Lewan, he was one that went
Yeah.
from Cactus Shadows to Chaparral. And I'm not going to throw names out there, but you know, there's a certain Oregon receiver that you know probably
Hey,
should went to
they're
Cactus
the
Shadows,
cool.
but you
I'm
know,
saying,
went
hey,
somewhere else. Went somewhere else. I'm just saying. But
right.
you've been able to be a guy over there, and you said that you wanted to do this. I want to
Right.
get this at Cactus Shadows. I want to get this with my pops, and I want
Yeah.
to transform this and make this a hot spot. And now you're here doing this.
Right.
You're competing in sevens, and I got to watch you earlier this seventh season at a red zone tournament where you were not by yourself, but you know you're the
Right.
quarterback. You were carrying this Cactus Shadows team versus all these all-star teams to the championship. Like that feeling for you to see what you've built, like it's got to be refreshing.
Yeah, 100%. It's the best feeling I've ever felt in my life. Like last year, we beat Notre Dame, and that's something that hasn't been done in 10 years. That's so being able to beat the school that everybody leaves to go to, it feels amazing. And building this thing year by year, it's a feeling you can't explain.
Hey, Notre Dame's kind of a rival. I know you got some rivalries and stuff like that,
Right.
but I really feel like after you walked off that field versus Desert Edge at Desert Edge,
Uh-huh.
that became your personal rival for your senior year.
Uh,
You get them out the gates,
Yeah.
and you might get them for your last game ever.
Yeah.
Knowing that, like, how does that make you feel? You're literally going to get what you want.
Right. It's a great feeling. You know, Coach Henry is a great coach. You can't deny that. It's a great
Facts.
school, great football team. You can't deny any of that, nevertheless. But it's something I've wanted since my freshman year. My first game my freshman year we lost, and then last year we lost in playoffs. So it's always been first for me, and this is my last with Desert Edge, and I'm really excited about it.
Hey, low key, would that be a dream of yours to be able to play them first game of your senior year, regardless of what happens, get them last game in Sun Devil Stadium? Like, is that the
100%.
dream?
That's storyline, yeah.
Man, that smile on your face, that's $1 million smile right there. Hey, look, the cool thing about you, Donovan, that I love, and I know a lot of these analysts love the Blair and Gulos, the Brandon Huffmans, the Adam Gorneys, your level of competitiveness. You're a quarterback and you
Right,
want to play quarterback, but you don't care. You want to compete.
right.
Utah gives you an offer, I believe, like at running back, and we watched you in a sevens game where the game was on the line and you were literally like, hey, put me in at DB, put me in at safety. I can break this thing up. You're really kind of setting the tone and leading by example. Like, where does that competitive nature come from? Because there's a lot of quarterbacks out there that'll be like, no, forget about it. You're recruiting me as a running back. I want nothing else. You want me to play some safety or wide receiver? I don't want to do it. Where does the competitive nature of yours come from?
I mean, it comes from my dad. Me and my dad have always competed about everything, and him throwing me into the fire with my older brothers being 7 years apart. I've always had to compete with them where you don't survive in this house. So that's definitely where it comes from right now.
Hey, does Pops ever take some quarterback reps in practice? Does he try to get
I
at
mean,
least a little bit?
he tries to. The defense gets real excited when he goes out there. You know, they try to pick everything off. They jump at everything once he comes out there.
Hey, what's the personal competition with you guys like though? Like throwing the balls into garbage cans and things like that. Like,
Yeah,
how competitive does it get with you and Pops?
it's not as competitive because I don't think he can mess with me now. But yeah, so it's not as competitive as it used to be. But yeah.
Hey, look, you also got a lot of ties up north and stuff, the Montana area, things like that, and I know you're just looking forward to like whatever climate you're given to play in. Being from around there and having some embracing some of that culture up there. What's that been like for you to travel around and see all the different types of football that there is to offer?
Being from Montana, you don't get the same experience I would get from Arizona. Like coming here, you get the sevens environment, you get the big game environment. In Montana, it's just like small town. You get kind of the big game environment, but you don't get it as much as a higher level as you do here. So the
Okay.
main thing I would just say is just the environment that you're around. Like in Montana, it's cold. Nobody really wants to play football in December. Here, you're fighting for a title every day.
Hey, I know that you got like some unofficial visits planned and stuff like that. What schools are you like taking a look at right now? Super heavy. I know
Right.
NAU absolutely loves you, and they're doing a hell of a job pressing you
Yes,
in
sir.
recruiting. I know that Utah likes you.
Yeah.
Power Four, FCS. Like, how are you juggling all that stuff?
So right now, this weekend, on Friday, I'm going to Utah, University of Utah.
Okay.
And then I was at U of A a couple weeks ago, and they were up here today. I like them a lot. I'll probably go up to NAU probably this summer again. But yeah, just enjoying the process, enjoying everything about it because you only get it once. That's something my dad has always preached to me because this is something I've prayed about. I've prayed about getting offers, prayed about getting looked at, and just enjoying everything about it and not stressing about it.
Hey, you get to go compete in this Under Armour camp for some of the top players in the country and stuff like that. What do you usually take away from some of these camps when you get to go?
The main thing I take away is just how to be a better leader. Like at the Elite 11, they were saying, "Oh, go up to this guy and just give him a little bit of courage because you never know who's going through what and who's having a bad day, who's having a good day. As long as you can make somebody better, that's your job as a quarterback. You have to make somebody better."
Hey, look, man. We haven't really done this before. Me and Gridiron haven't really done this too much before, but we are about to break down Cactus Shadow's schedule.
Right.
What's the bar? What are you going to take as disrespect from us, just so we know?
I mean, it's never disrespect. I always use it as motivation. So there's no number that you can say too low. So yeah, I mean, if you say a low number, it's just motivation to me.
Okay, all right. Hey, you go. Hey, but if we say a low number, you're gonna come get somebody, obviously. So,
We're gonna have a talk about this after.
hey, look, you lose some players on that offensive line. Does that worry you? What do you guys got coming back? Like, what can we look forward to from Cactus Shadows? How's this offense going to be built this year?
I think it's going to be built from the inside out, from the O line, outside receivers. We got a very experienced receiving core this year, adding Trey Peck, Alex Daphnis, Dylan Aspirez, Riker's playing some offense this year.
Man, getting some
And
work.
then Brock Cashin, he's a freshman, going to be a sophomore. But we got some talent on the receiver, and then our O line, we have a new center now. We got Sutton Hullabar, Peyton Wales, Riley Bogman. We got Riles, and then we got Carter Boggs. He was a tight end and moved to tackle. So I feel like
Okay.
our O line is just as good, and I think we're prepared. this year.
Okay. All right, man. Hey, look, I'm gonna be seeing you June 28th at Flight Club. You guys are officially locked in.
Yes, sir.
What are the chances that you guys go home with one of those belts?
I think it's pretty high this year.
Yeah. All right. Hey, I'm excited. I can't wait.
Yes,
I'm gonna see you out there. I'm gonna see you in Salt Lake, and we're gonna chop it up about a couple of things. And I'm definitely gonna have you back on the show at some point, definitely during the season. Hey, Donovan, I appreciate you stopping by, hanging out, and I'm gonna let you get back to the things that you got to do. Make sure that week 1 out the gates, it's gonna be crazy. Hey, whoever wins that game, I'm gonna tell you right now. Whoever wins, I said last year in the playoffs, whoever won that Cactus Shadows Desert Edge game was going to go to Sun Devil Stadium and win a championship. I told everybody that was what was going to happen. I'm telling you, whoever wins that game 1 becomes the kingpin for 5A.
Yeah.
Whoever wins that game 1, they're not losing again. They're not losing all season. I'm telling you, that's the way it's going to happen. All right, Donovan, I'm going to catch up with you, all right?
All right.
All right, later, bro.
Peace.
Man, Donovan Dixon. Hey, he ready. He's ready. I know that coach is tuned in. Waiting to hear what kind of numbers we throw out. No pressure.
Yeah,
no pressure. Just said Donovan.
I believe that no number is too low.
Oh man, I'm. Like knowing that I was gonna have Donovan Dixon on. And he requested that we break down their schedule. I took a look at their schedule. I'm kind of nervous. I'm actually kind of nervous to break this thing down. I looked at their schedule. I'm like, yo, dude, this thing's kind of loaded. This schedule's kind of loaded. Gridiron. Hey, how are you doing, man? It's been a week, and I feel like I've missed you.
Doing good. Mm-hmm.
Lot of showcases going on.
Teams are into second week of spring ball, which of course begins the showcases.
And I was out there at the Phoenix Union Showcase.
Yeah.
I saw a ton of coaches out there. I saw U of A. I saw Coach Gonzalez from U of A. NAU had like 10 coaches out there. I don't want to get them in trouble, but I saw Coach Fett. I saw Coach Roshman. Some of those guys. I know that Coach Peters was out there at La Jolla yesterday checking out Jaden Quick, who's an absolute monster. I think that he's in line for a monster season this year. I saw Coach Catanzaro from Lake Forest. Shout out to him. They got their camp.
Getting ready for their mega camp here. I saw the list of schools today. It's probably bigger than it's ever been.
No, it's going to be crazy. And I did hear some of the bigger schools. I did hear some of the bigger schools asking like what it takes to get in and be a part of it. But I know that there's like compliance things and this at the third and whatever. All the big schools have to deal with that stuff. But I know that Coach Cat's really trying to make that thing pop and get some of these bigger schools out there. But yeah, I think I saw Ripon. I saw a bunch of different polos out there. So a bunch of different logos and stuff. Also, I did notice that it was Cody Cameron's birthday the other day. So I want to shout out Cody Cameron. Happy birthday to him.
Saturday, last Saturday. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Buddy's really grown up in the community, literally grown up in the community, I feel.
That's right. So, well, from the post-college years on, yes.
Yeah. I think it's been really cool. So
he's going to be out at the Mesa showcase tomorrow with Sports 360. They're going to be live streaming that. I believe it's from 8 to 11 tomorrow.
Brad Sesman doing big
on the
things.
interwebs there. Yeah.
Brad Sesman doing big things. I'll have to check it out. I'm probably going to be live streamed to their YouTube, I'm guessing.
I would expect it would be on probably some Sports 360 link. Yeah. Okay. I mean, they might have a live up on Twitter, kind of like our show is, but
I think it's Sports 360 AZ on YouTube. I'll find out and I'll try to throw a link up or something like that. But your boy, what are we doing first? Since this is your segment, are we breaking down schedules?
We may as well stick with the Cactus Shadows part first.
Oh God, I was hoping that you would choose that second. Give them some time to tune out, get some dinner. Oh man, all right. Because you know, this is gonna be the peak time for Cactus Shadows to be tuned in, hanging out, and
Well,
all right,
their quarterback
all right.
is on the leader.
Yeah, all right. Since Gridiron wants to get in trouble first,
I didn't say
here
what
we
I'm
go.
thinking.
So without further ado, we are going to break down this Cactus Shadows schedule, which is dangerous out the gate. Boom.
Yeah.
First game on the road at Desert Edge.
The defending
828.
champs in on the road on their turf.
Hostile. It is going to be crazy, and it's going to be madness. I saw Adam Beadle was out at Desert Edge. I think yesterday, the other day. I can't remember. So
yeah, he posted some interviews with players and Coach Henry.
Yeah. So shout out to Beadle getting some work in. But Desert Edge, talk about the game. Let's go inside the numbers, out the gates. Cactus Shadows, Desert Edge.
All right,
Game
1 here. Of course, this is the Scorpions were held Cactus Shadows to their lowest point total of the season last year, 19 points. Dixon left that game with an injury, but of course, as you saw, he said the team's excited for that opener against the defending champs.
Man, hey, that game
certainly keeps you motivated during the not just during the spring, but once they put on the helmets and the pads there come August, it'll have their sole focus there.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe this game is going to be on the Epic Sports channel.
Is that a Thursday or is that a Friday?
I'm about to let you know right now.
8? That's at 8:28, isn't it? 8:28 is a Thursday. So that's right.
That is guaranteed to be televised.
Well, there's a few big games on that Thursday that I recall seeing a couple big 6A games that night too. I don't think I've seen an official word yet that is going to be their game, but yeah, it certainly wouldn't surprise me if it was on one of those streams.
Guaranteed. And if I know James Poovey and producer Sonia, they went after this game hard and probably got it. And this is gonna be a hell of a game to have televised. I might have to try to pull up to it on a Thursday night. Sheesh, I can't imagine that there's gonna be a bigger game than Cactus Shadows Desert Edge on a Thursday night.
On that Thursday, there's some big games that first Thursday.
On Thursday? Is there?
On that first Thursday, let me grab this real quick because I know there's a couple other big ones. I remember when they came out with a schedule. You got Basha at Brophy, that first Thursday game. And you have Hamilton at ALA Queen Creek is a Thursday game. And
dang, there are some big games. Holy smokes.
Mountain View at Liberty is a Thursday game.
Oh,
so
my goodness.
You got those three in the 6A, and then of course this Cactus Shadows Desert Edge in the 5A. So there's some big games that kick off for the big schools. Of course, the 3A and 2A get going the Friday before that.
Roscoff versus Dixon going to be crazy, and I guess it's actually Dixon versus Davis and Hamiel. So that is definitely going to be crazy. So and how he handles Jelani George and Yazin Zion and all those guys. So
yeah, I believe 8 Desert Edge players got offers today from SMU.
No surprise. Okay. As we move forward, Cactus Shadows, they get to come back home and play ALA Gilbert North. Then they jump on the road.
And that could be a big game too, just because of how much of an emphasis they're putting on Desert Edge. You can't put so much weight into it that you don't, focus again for the next week, win or lose against Desert Edge.
Yeah, this is true. I do think that ALA Gilbert North is the best rebound game that they could get, because regardless of what happens with Desert Edge, ALA Gilbert North keeps their focus, keeps them locked in. Like that's not going to be an easy game, so they'll have to tighten things up regardless of what happens. After that,
Coach Detmer will have a new quarterback over there this year.
Yes. After that, they go on the road to play at Eastmark, the Firebirds led by Danny Silver. And then they go on the road at Camelback to play, I believe it's Angel Neria and company over there. And then back home versus Paradise Valley, which Paradise Valley, I know that they got a new quarterback over there and I believe they got a new quarterback over there. And I think that they're going to be cooking. I love what Coach Davis does over there.
That's a week 5 game. If he's new by transfer, he won't be available yet. But
oh, true.
But they had one last year. I think they have the same quarterback they had the second half of last year.
Is that right? Why do I feel like
or was he a senior last year? Now that I think about it,
because they had the Brophy transfer last year.
He was a senior, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So they would have a new quarterback.
So they got
You're right. I think I did see a thing that they'd gotten a transfer over there.
Yeah, and then
the transfer is not going to be eligible for this one because that's week 5.
And then I look. It's not that I think any of those other teams are easy, but then it seems like their schedule gets very, very difficult. They're on the road at Desert Mountain, an open team. They are home versus Horizon, traditionally tough. Love what Coach D does over there. Then they are home versus Notre Dame Prep, Coach Prelock's crew. This game is going to be super interesting. No Cooper Perry.
Right. But they do have Gunnar Perry, who had a
lot of new names. Gunnar Perry's a stud.
Mm-hmm.
Gunnar Perry's a stud on defense. I absolutely love him. I think he's an absolute dude. So I can't wait. Go inside the numbers. Notre Dame Prep. This is kind of like this is like their rivalry game. So Notre Dame Prep, Cactus Shadows. Let them know what it is.
Yeah, of course. This is a region game. Last year, Cactus Shadows rallied for a 28-21 road win. Dixon had a rushing touchdown. He had a passing touchdown. And then he came in on defense, as you mentioned in the interview, for the last play of the game and had a pick in the end zone to preserve the victory, last play of the game. And Cactus Shadows had an 8-game losing streak against Notre Dame. It was their first win in the series since 2006. Obviously, they hadn't played every year because that's about a 20-year span where they've played 9 times now out of that. But now they've been in the same region for a few years. And, of course, Cactus Shadows got one against them last year.
That's big. Hey, and that's big. That's big. Anytime that there's ownership like that and then you steal a dub or you get the dub or whatever you want to say, that's big.
They'll get him up in Cave Creek this year.
All right. And then after that, they get Chaparral at Chaparral. And then they finish this thing because Chaparral's in the 5A now.
In this region too. Yeah.
And in this region, obviously. And then they finish up at home. It looks like Tucson.
That is Tucson, yeah.
Badgers? I mean, because I know that's not Wisconsin, so
it's not. That'd be something else if Wisconsin decided to play over here. But no, that is a region game against Tucson. I believe there's only 5. There's only 5 teams in this region, so somebody will always have the odd team each week in the second half, and Cactus Shadows has it the last game of the season.
All I know is Dixon would get his regardless. So this Tucson matchup.
Tucson.
Hey, this Tucson matchup is going to be big. Tucson's definitely trying to turn things around and make
Tucson a playoff team last year. Gave Desert Edge fits for about the first half of that game down in Tucson last year in the second round.
Man, I like this schedule. I think they're definitely going to be prepared for the playoffs. And I definitely think that Cactus Shadows is qualifying for the playoffs. I do not think that they're going to get Desert Edge first round this year. Hey, look, I'm gonna let you go inside the numbers on this team, but I absolutely love a couple of these players. Look, I think that Cashin is a tough wide receiver that's coming up. He was mentioned by Donivan Dixon. He's a sophomore, and I think that he's gonna hopefully get an opportunity to break out. Probably gonna be like a 4th receiver over there. Riker Crank, I think, is an absolute stud. Yeah, I think Riker Crank's an absolute stud on defense. Trey Peck is gonna come in fresh for the back half if he doesn't get all 10. Obviously Donivan Dixon is a star in the making, and I know we all love watching him work. We were all paying attention to that Higley game when that thing was becoming a track meet last year.
Yeah. That was a 56-50 game, wasn't it?
Yeah. Hey, Gridiron, I'm gonna let you go inside the numbers on this Cactus Shadows team, and let's pay attention. Let's see what it is.
Yep, Cactus Shadows. The Falcons 7-5 last season. Started the year at 4-0. Went on to make the 5A playoffs for the first time since 2021. We talked about that offense. The Falcons scored 48 or more points 7 times in 2024. Head coach Chris Dixon in his 4th year, same amount of time that Donovan's been there as the quarterback, and they are in the 5A Northeast Valley region. Looking at quarterback Donovan Dixon last season, 2,634 passing yards, 24 touchdowns. He will be a senior, also rushed for 1,070 yards and 15 TDs. He will be a 4-year starter, has back-to-back 1,000-yard rushing seasons, has 66 career TD passes and 30 career touchdown runs. His offer list: Air Force, Army, NAU, and then Utah, where, of course, he said he's going to be visiting here a little over a week. Running back is a little bit of a rebuild there. They had no returning back that had more than 35 rushing yards on varsity last season. So we'll focus on the receivers. You got Alex Daphnis, 54 catches, 716 yards, 8 TDs. And Dylan Aspirus, 38 receptions, 581 yards, 4 TDs. Both will be seniors. And then you got Trey Peck, the transfer from Millennium, likely in the second half of the season, had 623 receiving yards and 9 TDs for the Tigers. On defense, their top 5 tacklers last year were seniors. Some of the returning players, you got defensive back Aiden Chambers, 43 tackles, 4 pass breakups. He'll be a junior. You got Dylan Malone, a defensive lineman, 29 tackles and 3 sacks. And then Riker Crank was used mostly on defense last year. The defensive back had 37 tackles and 2 interceptions. Cactus Shadows was 3-5 against playoff teams last year and 4-0 against non-playoff teams. New to the region this year, Higley and ALA Gilbert North are out of the region. Higley up to 6A, but of course they will play ALAGN in week 2. Chaparral comes into the region, so they dropped from 6 to 5 teams in the region. They had 64 players on the varsity roster last year. 21 were seniors, so that leaves you with 43 returners. They did not field a JV team in 24.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and it is possible that I'm wrong. I see 7 playoff teams on this schedule.
On this year's schedule, let's see. I didn't add this up yet. You got Desert Edge, ALA, Gilbert North. Did Eastmark make it last year?
I thought Eastmark was in the playoffs last year.
Let me check this one real quick.
1, 2, 3. 2 open teams, 1 champion.
Camelback won region last year, but did not make the playoffs. I know that.
That I know.
Eastmark, I want to say they were.
Eastmark didn't make the playoffs.
Eastmark was 5-5. They did not make the playoffs.
Oh, they did not. Okay.
No, so they took a step down. Paradise Valley did not make the playoffs. Desert Mountain, of course, was in the open. Horizon was in the open.
Didn't make it. Okay, so 6.
Notre Dame did make the playoffs. Chaparral did not, and Tucson did. So you have 6. 6 teams that made the playoffs on the Cactus Shadow schedule. And they did play 11 regular season games last year. So they were 7-4 in the regular season and then had the loss to Desert Edge in the playoffs. I believe it was like a 10-7 matchup.
Yeah. Sheesh. Okay. Schedule's tough. 2 open teams, 1 champion. That's tough. Look, man. I count this up and I see 6. I see 6 winnable games, for sure. I think that this team.
Are you saying 4 of them are not winnable?
No, I'm just saying that 6 of them I think are winnable, are very easily winnable. They're not 50-50. I think that there's 6 games
that should be in the win column right away. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to take 6 in the win column right away. Listen, and I'm not going to back down from things that I've said already. Desert Edge is going undefeated. I said this during the Mountain Point breakdown. So Desert Edge is going to go undefeated. Now, do they go undefeated through the playoffs? That's something else. Do they go 14-0 or do they end up 13-1 and Donovan lives his dream? I don't know.
That's the story. From what you talked about, the very first game his freshman year against Desert Edge. Yeah.
Look, hey, if we get to pick this, if this game happens in the championship, I promise you all that me and Gridiron are going to project Desert Edge Cactus Shadows championship game, because like usually we pick like
I think we got to root for them to be on opposite sides of the bracket, right?
Well, yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We do. So so go ahead. Like I think I'm gonna say six I want to put in the win column immediately. And then I think that Cactus Shadows can steal one of the remaining 4, or the remaining 3 in this case, right?
Well,
I'm gonna go high. Go ahead and put me down for 8.
Out of it. So okay.
Cactus Shadows, give me Cactus Shadows for 8-2.
Okay, that's where I thought you were starting to head there.
Give me Cactus Shadows for 8-2 as they shock the world in 2 of the other 3 games.
I'm gonna go slightly below that. I'm gonna go 7-3, which I think will get them into the playoffs. I think they should make a nice run in the non-region slate after the Desert Edge game, and then we'll see how good some of these teams are within the region coming back, because last year I think this was the top region in the 5A.
Look, and this is kind of
a part of that being one of the top regions in 5A.
So I heard Donivan say something to me, kind of tip everybody off. Look, it's an interview and people are probably watching or listening.
I kind of tuned in the middle of it, but yeah.
Right, at least like 300 people or whatever, because I can see the numbers. So Donivan mentioned that Riker Crank is going to be taking on two-way duty this year.
Okay. I
think that
receiver.
Their receiver core is already kind of deepish, and I think that he's taking on the two-way duty because they're going to wait for Cashin to kind of develop a little bit, and they are also waiting for Trey Peck to become available game 6. So when that happens, I think Riker Crank is going to get the opportunity to slide back to defense, be a little bit more comfortable working mostly one way.
Which is mostly what he did last year. He had 2 catches on offense last year.
Right, but he's a fantastic athlete, so he can do the Travis Hunter two-way thing for a little bit, and we'll see.
If he knows he's going to be playing offense, you get the entire training camp to prepare for that.
Well, I watched him in 7s, and I know it's just 7s, but he looked good. He looked good doing his thing. So I think that,
as opposed to if this was in week 5, where all of a sudden you have some injuries or something else, and you have to slide him over, in the middle of the week. This is a case where you'd be better suited for it because you can prepare for it.
Yeah. Okay. So
maybe he flourishes so much that they don't want to take him off offense. You never know. So
well, he definitely did. If he does those,
but the key's going to be how much they can spread the ball around, because I think their run game is going to be down this year compared to last year, where they had 1,000-yard rusher in Muirhead.
Yeah,
and 1,000-yard Dixon. So
down is a tough thing, because I think Dixon is going to do Dixon things. And once he gets loose, I'm telling you, I've been watching this kid work a little bit, and the way his eyes open up and stuff, he's going to get loose on some of these.
The game's going to slow down even more, as senior.
100%.
Career 4-year starter.
And listen, this is no shade on any of the other 9 teams on the schedule. No team is going to be tougher than his week 1 matchup versus Desert Edge.
Well, yeah.
No team on his schedule. And
they're the defending champs. I think they're going to be everyone's preseason number 1 when the 5A rankings come out. No surprise there.
And they're 52 Division I athletes.
All kinds of athletes, all kinds of talent. All kinds of Division I offers. Not just in the senior class, but going down to the guys who will be sophomores next year.
Yeah. Look, there's 63 Division I athletes over at Desert Edge that they've managed to coach up and do the thing. Coach Saliga doing an amazing job over there. Track coach absolutely killing it. I think is that coach? I can't remember his name. But the track coach absolutely killing it with the speed for their kids. Coach MacArthur doing a fantastic job. Just managing the talent, very, very Joe Torre style, where the egos don't get crazy just because one kid has 43 Division I offers and whatever, trying to bring them all along.
Mm-hmm.
So look, that game is going to be a problem out the gates, but then after that, just like you brought up, the game is going to slow down for Dixon completely. Almost, it's going to be like 180 from everybody else. So teams are going to really, really have to come after him, and the teams that do really, really come after him, he's going to make them pay. He's going to make them pay. So give me Cactus Shadows for 8 of them.
Mm-hmm.
8 dubs. 8 dubs, guys.
If they win 8 and Desert Edge wins 10, I think there's a good chance that they're on opposite sides of the brackets.
They better be. Who's another?
8 and 2 could get you a 2 or a 3 seed in that instance, which would put you on the other side. So.
Oh, hold on. I just got a text message. Hold on. Oh, truly, why are you being so generous with all these 5A teams? Mountain Point's winning 8. Now Cactus Shadows winning 8. How many 5A teams are winning 8 games?
You did pick Mountain Point to win 8 games.
Look, Mountain Point was going to win 8 games, and then Cactus Shadows going to win 8 games, and
you got Marana winning 9 too. So I forgot about Marana there. So who knows? Maybe they will be a 4 or 5 seed and have to run into them in the semis.
That's going to be a problem because look, man, and unfortunately, if Marana wins 9, Marana's the number 2 because they're going to have South Point on their schedule.
It depends on what Cactus Shadow's opponents do, because Cactus Shadow
really
have something that Marana's not going to have, and that's Desert Edge on the schedule. To where.
But just looking at this, Cactus Shadows doesn't have anybody that can compete with South Point and what South Point's going to have to face either. So if South Point ends up being like a 7-win team, I hope that they don't tag us in their schedules, and I hope nobody hits me up to break down their schedule. But if South Point ends up being like an 8-win or 9-win team, then I don't know. I don't know how this is all going to work out. And Marana's going to.
I'm kind of going on the assumption that Desert Edge is going to have a higher PowerPoint rating than South Point with that. Yes, Marana plays South Point out of the gate, but I don't think that. I think when you stack up and then within the region too, when you stack up schedules, if these teams do kind of what we think they might do for the teams that have new coaches and going to be improving a little bit, and the teams that were open teams last year, from top to bottom, if Cactus Shadow's schedule is better than Marana's, then an 8 and 2 might beat out a 9 and 1. That happens all the time.
Man, I was at ASU talking to all the Marana parents and stuff, and they're telling me that's the team of Tucson. So if they beat South Point, and South Point.
Well, they earned it last year as being the team of Tucson, and now that they get an opportunity in week 1 to defend that, if you will, much in the way that Desert Edge gets to defend being the term of the Kings of 5A. Heading into week 2, Marana will get the chance to defend being the Kings of Southern Arizona going into week 2. So
you are telling me that that Marana beating an 8-win 6A South Point team.
I'm not saying South Point's going to go 8 and 2.
Worth less. No. I'm saying. So if South Point goes 8 and 2, you think that losing to an undefeated 5A team is worth more than beating an 8-win 6A team?
I think just from the talent standpoint on the field. As far as I don't know from a 10-0 team is going to have a super high PowerPoint number, and whether you're a 5A or a 6A PowerPoint number isn't really going to factor in this year because there are not very many games between 5A and 6A teams.
Okay.
Whereas last year, pretty much everybody had crossover games, and this year there are much less crossover games. And part of the reason they did that is because the 5A is not part of the Open, so there isn't as much of a reason to need to have more common opponents.
That is true. All right. Moving on.
What Miranda's doing is rare that they are playing a 6A team.
Yeah, back down from nobody, and
There
they want that title.
6A teams on the Cactus Shadow schedule, so
they want that title, Team of Tucson. So that's how you get it, is you beat South Point again. Again. Sheesh. I hope nobody from South Point hits us up to rate. Oh man. Okay. All right. So there's that. Anyways, look, we and inside the numbers, we
did not do Cactus Shadows last year, by the way.
Well, Donivan Dixon didn't slide in the DMs and say, "Hey, Chili, break down our schedules." So
I'm just saying we can't say we picked them 5-5 and then they did great. So.
Well, I knew that they were going to be good. I told everybody that they were going to be good. I thought they were going to be solid. I was excited for them. Donivan Dixon. I knew about Riker Crank. I thought that he was a stud. He was over there at Horizon. I got to watch him play freshman ball. I knew that he was a dude. Him and like EJ Peoples and all those guys. But all right, as we move forward, we are not done with the Inside the Numbers segment as we actually break out the yellow pad once again this week because your boy Chili, I was out at the Under Armour Next Los Angeles event.
Here we are.
And we were loaded. We were loaded with a ton of Arizona
representing their AZ there.
Yeah, look at these guys, and they were absolutely cooking. I'm going to run through these names real quick and talk about how they did, and then my guy Gridiron is going to take a few of them that are his favorites because Gridiron plays favorites, and he is going to actually go inside the numbers on those guys. So this is kind of an inside.
I got about 5 of them,
if you will. Okay, so he likes half of these guys more than he likes the other half. Anyways. It all started off with defensive linemen. Noah Banye from South Point showed that he was a handful, dealing with a lot of talented offensive linemen out there. Pat St. John was absolutely dominant, as was Tyler Bernstein. Listen, man, I am going to tell you right now, I feel for a lot of offensive lines that are going to have to go against Liberty. I do not know how you are going to plan for these two guys right here. Tyler Bernstein was an absolute problem out there, just walking by some of the most talented offensive linemen in the country at this Under Armour Next event. And I put some of the film up there, and he put some of the film up there, and it was consistent. That is what he was doing. I did not see him lose a rep. He was out there smacking the cone, just getting the cone, which was like the equivalent of getting a sack. So absolutely destroying people. And people were complaining like, oh, all you can do is go around people. Well, he told them like, hey, make me dig in my bag then. And I don't know. He had offensive linemen losing 50 calories a rep. It was crazy. All right. Speaking of offensive linemen, we had a super talented one out there. One, Benjamin Lowther from Centennial, absolutely pancaking a lot of them. I did not see him go against any of the Arizona kids, so I did not see that. But I did see him winning more reps than he lost. So shout out to Ben Lowther for holding it down. Jalen Coulter, listen, this is the crap of these camps. They pair linebackers up with running backs, right? And then they put them in these one-on-one things and have them like covering wheel routes. Like, dude, linebackers aren't really chasing running backs out of the backfield for like 30 yards down the field. It's absolutely
wheel route
insane.
kind of favors the running back.
100% does, but my man was step for step with a lot of them and doing his best and covering the short passes with ease. Wide receivers were doing their thing. Mekhi Hodge from Cesar Chavez and Max Miles head topping everybody. Max Miles was an absolute stud, and I got to see him out at the showcase yesterday cooking. Talon Scott from ALA Queen Creek, the tight end over there, was looking fantastic, making a lot of nice grabs, showcasing those hands and all that good stuff. Defensive backs, Nassim Eason from Higley, everybody was raving about his length, how long he was, how talented he was, the good footwork. Mason Lewis, he won more reps. He was absolutely killing. I saw him with back-to-back interceptions and back-to-back pass breakups, and I think he only gave up one pass the whole time that I saw him. And I think I saw him in about 7 or 8 matchups versus different receivers, not versus all the same ones. So Mason Lewis was absolutely killing.
Receivers didn't line up against him anymore.
This is the kid. This is the craziest thing. I saw this kid when he got on the plane, and then I saw him get off the plane. So like he went.
That was the only time you could account for him, right?
Yeah, he did it.
Otherwise,
he did
he
it
would
one
have
day.
over.
Hey, he didn't spend the night out there and get a good night's sleep in LA. He went out there on a business trip and just cooked, just did his thing. So and he left same day. So man, I'm telling you, like he just he said, "Hey, look, I'm gonna bring my briefcase and I'm gonna smack these receivers around, let everybody know what time it is." The kid absolutely cooked. So shout out to him doing his thing. All these kids, and Mason Lewis is a kid that goes both ways. Might do his Travis Hunter thing over there at Basha and get some receiver work and really, really put the world on notice. But Mason Lewis, absolute stud. Under Armour next, Los Angeles. Gridiron, go ahead. Your 5 guys. Who did you pick out?
I kind of spread it out by position. We'll start with Ty Bernstein over there at Liberty, the defensive lineman. He's a 26, 6'4", 235. Defensive end, squats 425, benches 315, has a 75-inch wingspan. Transferred from Shadow Ridge after his sophomore year. So he played in 8 games for the Lions last year, had 19 tackles. 8 of them were tackles for losses and had 4.5 sacks, plus a fumble recovery. I saw some of that video there. He went crazy at that Under Armour camp.
Crazy.
Should have a breakout season as a senior. Visited an ASU practice last month. Has offers from ASU, Nevada, and New Mexico, plus 3 FCS schools. Ben Lowther, the offensive lineman from Centennial. He's a 27, 6'8", 305 offensive tackle, 84-inch wingspan, a 3.92 GPA, 4-star rating from On3. He won the 6A title, of course, with Centennial last year. Had a great day at the Under Armour camp. I saw some of his video also. His strengths are footwork and speed. Visited an ASU practice last month. Has offers from Kansas, Minnesota, ASU, U of A, Cal, and Texas A&M. That Texas A&M just came today. Jalen Coulter, the linebacker over at Mountain Point. He's a 26, 6'2", 195 linebacker. Led Mountain Point with 122 tackles last year. Also had 2 forced fumbles, an interception, and a sack. He's visiting UNLV later this month. Just a leader on the defense. There's only a couple seniors, or they had a couple seniors leave for college, of course, on that defense, and only 4 starters back on the D. So he really has to take on a big leadership role this year with a younger Pride defense. His offer list: ASU, Duke, Nevada, Oregon, Oregon State, UNLV, and Central Michigan. Talon Scott, the tight end from ALA Queen Creek. He's a 27, 6'4", 225. Caught 11 passes as a sophomore on varsity for 98 yards. Also made 8 tackles on defense. He's rated 3-star by 24/7. Visited ASU football in March during spring ball. Visited U of A for a spring practice in March also. And he played sevens on the traveling team for Tucson Turf. And then finally, Mason Lewis, the defensive back for Basha. He's a 26, 6 foot, 185, defensive back and wide receiver, 3.7 GPA. He transferred from Castile to Basha, so might only get to play the second half of the year. Last year at Castile on offense, 238 rushing yards, averaging more than 6 yards a carry, and 435 receiving yards, averaging 21 yards per catch, and 5 TDs. And then on defense, which is mostly where he's being recruited, 33 tackles and 7 pass breakups. He made a lot of picks at that Under Armour camp. Saw some of that video as well. And then On3 rated their kind of their top 10 players, regardless of position, and they had him number 3. He was listed as the top DB. He's going on an official visit to Iowa in June. He has 10 total offers, including ASU, Iowa, Iowa State, Kansas, Kansas State, Washington State, and a few others.
Yeah, we accidentally K-Visuals accidentally put Castile. I think I sent it that way though on accident. So yeah.
Basha.
Oops, our bad. He's at Basha. It's official. Yep. Like it's no secret. I think Adam Beadle posted it on Twitter and stuff like that. So that's how you know it's like official.
Yeah, well, I think Beadle was out there seeing him today out at Basha.
Yeah, so absolute stud. The kid was an absolute matchup nightmare for A lot of those receivers, they absolutely hated seeing him line up across from them. Did a great job of just running the routes with the receivers and making the plays. Had zero problems getting his hands dirty over there and breaking up passes, getting interceptions and all that good stuff. Gridiron, what are your sons doing?
Well, they're moving deck chairs on the Titanic so far. They're just kind of moving different people around to different positions within the front office. And then I guess Ishbia brought in one of his guys.
All his guys.
To be the GM. He certainly appears to be a yes man from yesterday's interview. They're the only team without a head coach right now. But do you really need one yet? I don't know. Maybe you don't. But
you don't even know if Kevin Durant's going to be here or not. So I say wait to hire the head
they're
coach
not able to do anything with Durant. You can't trade players right now. I think you have to wait till after the season anyway. Some people believe that the Houston Rocket quick exit signals that they're going to be a team that makes that desperation move. And then I've also heard in some circles that Houston that doesn't want any part of that, and they want to continue to grow with what they got and not shake things up, because they kind of saw what happened in Phoenix and in Brooklyn when teams shook it up for KD, and now you're getting a little bit older of a KD, obviously.
If you don't have some veteran dogs to run with Kevin Durant like Golden State did, he is not going to help you bring up the youngsters. So that would be a very, very
well. I think
bad move.
This year was when they really had they were a 500 team last year, and then this year they won 52 games. Of course, they were the 2 seed, but they were only 4 games better than the Warriors who were in the play-in. So because they were all bunched up this year in the West, and they did win those 2 games to take Golden State to 7 games. So I think that was certainly another step forward from where they were at last year. And then keep in mind that the reason they have a bunch of draft picks was back when they had Harden and they basically tanked it at that point.
But which young guy has ever ran with Kevin Durant for 2 seasons and really just absolutely flourished? I know people are going to try to say like James Harden or Russell Westbrook, but I don't even know if that's really.
Well, they were all young guys.
They were all young then.
3 of those guys were coming up at the same time there at OKC.
Like I just don't know that. Like that's not the leader that I want.
That team made the finals too.
Yeah, and then got smoked out that thing.
They did, but
got smoked out that thing.
Got there, yeah.
That team also lost a 3-1 lead to the Warriors.
Yes, they did.
So I don't know how seriously
them.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Hey, look, I don't know if you really consider him an Arizona guy, but I just think it's cool because I heard from them and stuff. But and I went out to watch him play. But Dylan Raiola, I saw him on Raw last night. I thought that was super cool. Monday Night Raw for
we're talking about the wrestling
fans out there. Yeah, the wrestling show. And then I saw what's it called? I noticed that he got I know that he got a deal with Adidas.
Is Nebraska an Adidas school?
Nebraska is an Adidas school.
I was gonna say they better be.
I believe Nebraska is an Adidas school. Is this NIL situation, like your opinion? Do you think it's getting more troubling, or do you think they're figuring it out more?
They're not figuring it out. It was.
I think it's more troubling.
Well, it was originally brought in to say, okay, when athletes sign things, or sell merchandise, they should get a kickback to them, and I think everybody was on board with that. And so then what it's turned into, is teams bidding for services of players and offering millions of dollars with it. Now, does that mean that the government needs to get involved with it? No, it doesn't mean that. But it means that college football still needs to figure it out.
Yeah, but now that the shoe companies are going to get involved, I think that this is very, very dangerous, because once Nike decides to open that wallet up, Oregon is going to have a professional team, literally, they already kind of.
Well, they probably have what was Ohio State's total NIL last year on the football team? Wasn't it like 20 million?
40, no, probably like 20 million?
20 million?
40, no, probably like 30, 40 million.
Yeah,
Probably 30
more than
million.
that.
Well, what's it called? I just saw a report saying that Texas's NIL thing is like $30 million for their roster
For this year?
Yeah, so like I would guess Ohio State somewhere around there, like 25.
Too bad,
30.
because Quinn Ewers could have had some of that if he'd stayed, right?
Oh my God, dude! How bad did he get done? Did he get worse? Did he get done worse than?
And then he got picked in the
Shedeur?
7th round, so he's getting seventh round money.
Dude, he's getting like 10% of what he could, 10% of what he could have made in college. But do you think that his situation's worse than Shedeur's? It's got to be, right? Because he could have made like $5 million somewhere.
Well, did Shedeur have another year of eligibility? I'm not sure.
No, played 2 years at Jackson, and then played 2 years at Colorado, right? So did he have the COVID year to him? Maybe.
I think the COVID didn't the COVID year end with his
Wasn't this the last year for that?
Because the COVID year was 2020, so the COVID year ended with the last class.
Well, I don't know, because that one tight end from Miami had like 15 years of like college.
Well, yeah, but sometimes that doesn't count like the medical hardship year when you get injured like the first game and then the NCAA grants you an exception. That happens.
How many exceptions can you grant before it's like, yo, dude, you're
I don't know. Didn't that guy play like 9 years or something?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's absolutely crazy. Like, it's all good. Listen, I mean, he loved college. He was like the Van Wilder of like college football. It's all good. I'm not mad at him.
Hey,
I'm not mad at him for
it. Right? Football isn't like, basketball or golf, where you can go play pickup games on the weekend, or go out to your local course and try to shoot, With football, you typically when you're done, right? You don't go putting on the helmet and, for the most part, you don't go putting on the helmet on the weekends, when you're 30 something.
No, that's not true, because like, what's it called? Like Zach Alvira, he played.
I know,
in, like,
they
the
had that league when Zach was in. Yeah.
So like,
it isn't like the common. It isn't like going out to your local tennis court and hitting the ball around. And if you're a tennis player in high school, and you're done playing, you can still keep playing tennis.
And Cody always plays like flag football or sevens or whatever on the weekend. He'll find one of the open schools, and I think some of them gave him the keys to the field so that he can just like
because that's Sunday morning
over and stuff. So yeah, but anyways, my guy Gridiron Arizona, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Gridiron always been servicing the community, taking care of everybody. He's an absolute legend. All these coaches know him, and it's crazy because like I talked to all these coaches and they're like, "Oh my God, we can't believe that because of you, we actually get to see what Gridiron looks like because you have him on your show every week." And so these college coaches like, "Hey, I just think it's cool that like." I didn't listen. I say this with all the respect in the world, and you know how highly I think of you, but like I did not know the legend of Gridiron Arizona. So I'm always just like so taken aback. Like I know you get taken aback when like the college coaches like run up on you, like, oh my God, like blah blah blah. Like we used to like follow you coming up.
I know,
but like I'm just always like, damn dude. I get Gridiron on my show now. Like I think that's.
I appreciate the platform. So
no. Hey, I appreciate you making that thing work, and I know that you put a bunch of stuff out there, not just on Twitter, but on the World Wide Web, ArizonaVarsity.com. Right, you still do your thing. So
yep,
we're Sports 360 AZ. I'm not sure which one.
The 26. All the offers and commits so far that we have. I think we're up to 8 offers, about 91 offers. And 8 commits so far.
And then the first of its kind, where there's a constant tracker if you want to see and keep up with all your favorite high school kids.
Yeah, I'll keep that going all the way, and it includes the small schools. I go all the way down to the NAIA. Any 4-year schools got D2s, D3s, and that'll continue all the way leading up to signing day part 2 in February. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Keep up with that stuff. Also, don't forget the manual scoreboard, which is actually legendary. That's where the yellow pad comes from.
Here come August, yeah.
We can't wait.
That's a larger yellow pad. That one you didn't fit on a little itty bitty one. You got to use the full 8.5 by 11 on that one.
Oh man. Well, actually, like, is it going to be easier for you? Is it easier for you now? Because I feel I could be wrong, but are there less 6A and 5A teams now?
I this year compared to last year, I want to say there's maybe 2 less because I think we're 29 and 49 for this year, so it's 78. We might have had 80 last year. I don't remember.
Okay. All right. Hey, Gridiron, next week we do got a super special show lined up.
Yep.
We are going to break down one schedule, and then we are going to talk about these showcases.
Little showcase recap. Yeah.
Yeah. Super
a lot going
important.
on. There's awful lot of showcases here over these 2 weeks.
And we might have some guests come on to share some of what they've done out and about.
The one tonight is out in the West Valley Showcase, and then of course
like 12 teams.
Yeah, and then we talked about tomorrow out at the 6 Mesa District schools will be out there in the morning. Yeah. I guess you get out of class for that. Isn't that nice?
That's super legit.
Yeah.
I think I will be back in town Thursday or Friday, so I'm not sure what showcases are going on those days, but definitely going to try to pull up and catch some of those. And I might be in town most of next week, so might try to catch a bunch of showcases next week. So there's that. Your boy Chili, I'm going to make my way out of here and let my guy Gridiron go. So Gridiron, first I'm going to dismiss you and let you get on with your night. You, Mrs. Gridiron, grab some dinner, or did you already eat?
Oh, we already ate. Yeah, we are in the early dinner plan. Usually by 6 we're eating dinner. So,
hey, I'm always curious. Do you stream anything? Do you watch anything? Binge watch? Are there shows that you like to watch?
I'm more of a sports guy, so I don't stream that much. No, I don't.
Okay.
She'll find something and then she'll watch like all the episodes back to back.
What's the last thing that Mrs. Gridiron watched?
Well, she's been watching all the MASH episodes. She's seen them before, but she's
holy smoke! She went old school.
She has finished. We have a report she has finished. That would be today. She finished the MASH episodes.
Sheesh.
We'll see. Yeah,
that's crazy.
She watches some different stuff. Yeah, it's not necessarily. Sometimes it's current shows. Sometimes some other stuff. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hey, my guy Gridiron. I'm gonna catch up with you next week. Next week, big show. Can't wait. Special guest gonna happen. I'll catch you later, Gridiron. Appreciate
we'll
you. Hey, as y'all know, June 28th, Flight Club going down. It's going to be absolutely crazy in Maricopa. Going to have a lot of fun out there. Got some guys committed to coming out and hanging out and doing some things. I do have a soccer player that reached out to me saying that he feels like he could kick field goals and punt better than an actual football field goal kicker and puncher. He thinks that he could do it better. So I might put him to the test and challenge him with that. Last year, we tried to do the softball challenge with Coben Bourget, but we had some issues that didn't allow for that. Might have to set this other thing up, though, because I am also curious if a soccer kicker can compete and kick field goals with an actual field goal kicker and efficiently punt with an actual football punter. So there's that. Your boy Chili, I'm going to catch y'all later on. I appreciate everybody always showing love. Hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, Twitter, or X, Snapchat, @JustChili, TikTok, YouTube, Just Chili TV. Other than that, anything that you guys ever need, just make sure that you holler. I will be out in Salt Lake City for the Under Armour Next event this weekend. Saturday's going to be crazy. So I heard that there's like a Midnight Madness Sevens event in Arizona. I might try to fly back and go catch that. But other than that, your boy Chili, I'm going to make my way out of here. Forks up forever. Y'all know the deal.